Gamers, beavers, burgers. Grab your snacks. The underdog, the legend in his own mind. Jaybeazt, dropping memes and bringing heat. Jaybeazt, stream is starting, pull up a seat. Breaking news, trailers dropped. I react and maybe sound a bit shocked. New game hype, I got the tea. Call of Duty, Battlefield, come watch me. Not a big shot, just starting out, but I'll hype your chat and hype my clout. My aim's kinda bad, my joke's kinda worse, but at least I never stream with rehearse. Jaybeazt, underdog with gamer streak. Jaybeazt, laughs, reacts, chaos you seek. Warning. Jaybeazt, you may mispronounce your favorite game. Please remain calm. Chat's alive, memes flying fast. I may fail, but it's always a blast. Subscriber hype, not just some friends, but the fun and chaos never ends. Reacting, chatting, sometimes I play, even if I die in the first 5 minutes. Hey, new game breakdown, I'll nerd out loud, making jokes, looking goofy, maybe proud. Jaybeazt, underdog, but bringing fire. Jaybeazt, lo-fi beats, memes, and satire. Who's in chat? Beast back. What's the game? Total snack. Level up? Maybe not yet, but we laugh, we hype, you won't forget. Achievements, sure, but I miss a lot. Glitches, bugs, rage quits I've caught. But while the pros are flexing loot, I'm here, underdog with style and cute. Streaming news, trailers, reactions too. Sometimes I even know what I'm doing, kinda true. Chat laughs, memes fly, and everyone's hyped. Welcome to Jaybeazt, the underdog is live tonight. Jaybeazt, underdog, chaotic streak. Jaybeazt, gaming news, laughs you seek. Not a pro but never weak. Gosh, Jaybeazt may mispronounce your famous pronunciation game or make you laugh uncontrollably. Stream starting now. The fifth out.
Oh, can you hear me now? Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, it's gone on. I did the thing again. I did the thing. It was recording though, I think, but it wasn't showing the thing. Anyway, not again. I know, dude. It sucks. Anyway, hang on. My chat is also not working, showing up. What the heck? What the hell is going on here? Oh, it's doing the thing again, dude. It's doing the thing again. Ah, that is very annoying. I'm gonna do another trigger test and see if this. Okay, take two. Yes, take two. Uh, trigger. Oh, okay, okay. Well, it's showing up. Why is not your chat showing up? What the heck? Very weird. Very weird. Say something. I'm gonna say something. Say something. Okay, it's popping up. It's popping up. Okay, it's working now. Holy crap. Okay. All right, let's go. All right. So, um, as I was saying, I spotted this in games industry because I sometimes check out these articles on game industry because it has some interesting stuff going on related to gaming industry. So I like to check it out sometimes. So um, this is probably not some stuff that you would normally check out as a gamer or a casual gamer or player. But yeah, as the name suggests, it's called gamesindustry.biz. So I like to check it out sometimes, and I spotted this on here today. It is called Call of Duty Black Ops 7 trails far behind Battlefield 6 on Steam pre-orders, but the bigger picture is far more complex. Okay, so that actually got my attention because, as we've been talking a lot about in this stream in our streams, Battlefield is a clear winner in our eyes, which is true. It had a lot of sales and a lot of people are on it. And looking at this article, okay, according to data from Alinea Analytics, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 has sold under 200,000 pre order copies on Steam 18 days ahead of launch, whereas Battlefield 6 has already sold almost a million during the same time frame. Okay, makes sense because we've seen how many people have been jumping in on Battlefield. Similarly, as Eurogamer reported yesterday, Black Ops 7 is ranked at number 173 for Steam wishlist. By contrast, Battlefield 6 peaked at number 3. Okay, still makes sense. However, although the numbers look bad for Call of Duty at first glance, the bigger picture is harder to ascertain. For a start, because of Call of Duty is an annual franchise, regular players might not bother adding it to their wishlist. Like FIFA, it is difficult to measure the success of upcoming COD releases based solely on wishlist data, says Vic Bassi of Video Game Insights. A lot of factors come into play. However, what we do know is that players already embedded within a gaming ecosystem tend to buy the serialized release rather than adding it to a wish list. Okay, they do have a point in saying this because, like I said before, like I've said many times before, COD is a very annualized franchise. They come out every year, and we also had talks about, heard some news about Battlefield also trying to do the same thing, make it annualized thing, and people are not happy about it. But Call of Duty is a very annualized franchise at this point, and all the Call of Duty players are kind of on auto mode, buying every single Call of Duty game that comes every year, and playing every single battle pass. It's almost like a routine for most Call of Duty players at this point. So it kind of makes sense that they wouldn't bother. Most of them wouldn't bother adding it to a wish list because it's it's kind of expected to drop every year at this point, so you don't need to really add it to a wish list. You just buy when it comes out, right? So yeah, it does make sense. Whereas Battlefield, it took a 5-6 year hiatus after the poor performance of 2042, and it was kind of refreshing to see the game makes a comeback in the form of Battlefield 6, and it excited a lot of fans that sort of gone underground since 2042 and Battlefield 5. Most of the fans of Battlefield, so they resurfaced, and this excited them. So hence you saw a lot of people wishlisting it, a lot of people jumping on the beta to test it out. Um, and it even interested a lot of Call of Duty players because it was seen as the darker, grittier war simulator type game opposed to the arcadey version of Call of Duty. So made sense. But yeah, they do have a point. They do have a point. The hair, clothes color, the brand. Yeah, that's it. That's it, bro. I'm always on my blue hoodie, man. That's my thing. Bessie notes that Call of Duty games have their own separate launcher on PC, so we don't have access to the complete data, and not all PC players will be buying the game via Steam. There's also the fact that Black Ops 7 will be available day one on PC Game Pass, which saw a price rise earlier this month. In addition, VGI's data shows that the Call of Duty franchise as a whole has around twice as many followers as Battlefield 6 on Steam at around 658,000. I'm not sure whether this is a good indicator for sales anyway. It might have a lot of followers, but does that necessarily mean that you're going to get as many sales? I'm not sure because, you know, Call of Duty has been around for a long time. So was Battlefield, but Battlefield hasn't put out a game in a 5-6 year window, and they now only just dropped Battlefield 6. It's only been mere weeks, and it's doing pretty well. And Call of Duty sort of been on a downward spiral for, I would say, for the last 3-4 years. So I don't know, man. Okay, let's read on. Reese? Oh, I don't know. I'm butchering this name. Rice Elliott at Alinea Analytics says that according to his firm's data, Battlefield 6 has now passed 10 million copies sold across all platforms, and it seems to have won over the core PC audience. But that momentum alone will not be enough to overturn Call of Duty's overall market dominance this year at least. He points out that whereas the Battlefield series has always resonated mostly with PC players, Call of Duty remains a multi platform powerhouse with a sale base that extends far beyond Steam and the PC market. What do you think about that? I understand that a lot of PC players do love Battlefield, but most of my experience has been on consoles for Battlefield 2. Like I played a okay, you know what? Actually, Battlefield 3 I played it mostly on PC. I did play it mostly on PC. But Battlefield 4 I played a lot on a PS. Um but that's just been my experience, and now I'm back to PC to play Battlefield 6. So I don't have a clear idea as to how this is. But yeah, if you do you agree with this statement or not? Let me know. But I don't know. It feels like a kind of a vague, broad thought. Um, yeah, it is still kind of hard to say whether this is actually will be the case. Not sure. Elliot suggests that Battlefield 6 is currently enjoying a huge amount of goodwill as the series bounced back from the disappointment of Battlefield 2042. Like I said, whereas Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is facing a perception problem. True, as a result of series repetition and a focus on Fortnite esque cosmetics, but that won't necessarily impact sales all that much. This I have actually talked about this before, and I mentioned that Battlefield, like people are very loud about the fact that how Call of Duty is so different to Battlefield 6, how it's more arcadey, and how Battlefield 6 plays better, yada yada. But the thing is, your average COD player is still enjoying Call of Duty. That's the reality. Call of Duty is for a separate audience, and yeah, we did see a whole bunch of Call of Duty players jumping in on Battlefield 6 and having fun in their own way. But ultimately, Call of Duty serves for Call of Duty players, and Call of Duty players like what they have. Most of them anyway. They love the cosmetics. They want the cosmetics. They want to show them off. They want the battle passes with all the colorful stuff that they get with it, and they like the movement system. They like the arcadiness of Call of Duty. That's why they play it. So why would that be a problem? Probably not. That's why I said when Call of Duty Black Ops 7 launches, we're gonna see a portion of Battlefield players who are COD players actually going back to Call of Duty. We might actually see that, and we'll see some of that portion, some of that daily peaks will go down a little bit for Battlefield because of that, which is not a bad thing. I think eventually both games will settle with a core audience, core player base, and then that will be the end of it, and that's totally fine. Call of Duty has entrenched global audience across consoles and PC, including more casual gamers that purchase the game each year out of habit and brand loyalty. Exactly what I just said before. Its casual player base dwarfs Battlefields, and its integration with Warzone ensures that millions of players are constantly exposed to marketing, in game promotions, and social tie ins that convert attention into purchases. Even if Black Ops 7 feels less exciting to us at the enthusiast media, the sheer reach of COD's ecosystem through cross promotion, platform partnership, and content cycles guarantees massive sales volume once the game launches. He thinks that although Battlefield 6 might be winning the hearts and minds of PC players, the market inertia of Call of Duty will ensure that Black Ops 7 will sell more copies overall. Battlefield is having its comeback moment, but Call of Duty remains the default choice for mass market players. This, in a way, I do have to agree, because while we are enjoying Battlefield a lot, you do have to consider the casual players. You do have to consider that. And in the last stream, we briefly touched on this when we were playing the casual game mode that's been introduced into Battlefield 6, which is to capture that casual player base. We were playing through casual breakthrough and with the bots, and we talked about how this is going to be very appealing to the casual gamer because it is so much easier to play. You deal with a lot more bots and less real players. However, you do get the actual progression in the game. You're not penalized for it. For real people real player kills. Either way, I think that was an attempt by Battlefield to capture that casual audience and try to keep them there. Because the reality is, if you're not actually decent with your skills when it comes with Battlefield, you will struggle. You will really struggle. Some of the game sessions, especially in conquest and escalation game modes, can be absolutely brutal, and most of the time you're just going to keep dying and waiting for revives or just respawn. And that's the reality, because it's all that it's not about running and gunning all the time. It's about teamwork. So like you got to have a balanced squad. First of all, you got to have your assault, just literally just charging in, capturing points. You have to have your support right behind the assault, trying to revive if they get down. You got to have your engineers taking out tanks, and you got to have your recon spotting people. Like, you got to have all of that to work in synchronization for Battlefield experience to work properly. But you're not going to get that all the time, and that could really suck. But Call of Duty is not really designed that way. Call of Duty is for you to just jump in for a session and just go run and gun for 10 minutes, and then you get a win, and then you dominate the scoreboard, and then you go again. And it's kind of like a gambling machine, like you just keep playing, and you just keep playing and waiting for the hoping that you make the top of the board, and you just do it again and hope for the top of the board. Like, it's kind of like that. It's literally designed to keep you playing. Like, that's what Call of Duty is. So it's very different purpose. It doesn't matter whether you're playing with a bunch of people or by yourself. It really does not matter. So yeah, I think they do have a point. So Call of Duty, because of that, appeals. Call of Duty, because of that, appeals for the mass market player. Whereas Battlefield, at this point, it's probably for a little bit more hardcore players. If they will do Whether they will do anything to change that and capture more casual players for Battlefield, we don't know yet. But that's not gonna be an issue, like I said, because like I said before, Battlefield and Call of Duty are totally different games, and they can coexist without having a competition for trying to grab each other's player base. I think eventually what we're gonna see is we're gonna see them settle with their own separate player bases, and they'll just like stick to both. That stick to each. Some will overlap, obviously. Some will play both, but you'll see a whole bunch of players just playing Battlefield, whole bunch of players just playing Call of Duty. I think that's what we're gonna see eventually, but we're not there yet. It's only been mere weeks into battle. Oh, uh, I just got reconnected. Okay, cool. However, he thinks that Battlefield could become a serious threat to Call of Duty in the future as it rolls out updates like Battle Royale mode and the UGC focused Battlefield portal. Though uh, Call later the latter could potentially capture the attention of the TikTok crowd and streamers and could open the door for Battlefield as a platform, he suggests. It is true. We've seen huge amount of success with the user generated content in Battlefield Portal already. Um, and it's been doing so well. Whether that hype will die down eventually, we don't know, but we're still seeing a lot of people jumping in, creating their own maps and modes and stuff like that, and people actually jumping in and doing some of that stuff. I have tried a few actually. I am not like a huge Portal like player. I stick to the base multiplayer games mostly, conquest, escalation, stuff like that. Haven't really done anything else, but there are fans of Portal who actually really grind that stuff. So it's forming its own player base as well, which is great to see. If EA delivers on its roadmap cadence, keeps momentum through a crowded shooter season, and successfully rolls out Battle Royale that feels like Battlefield, not Apex Legend with tanks, we could see EA nurture Battlefield into some real competition for Call of Duty in the coming years. Yeah, okay, that is true. That is the end of the article. But yeah, I think the article raises a valid point where we might see this Battlefield 6 as a clear win opposed to Black Ops 7, but it does remain to be seen how well Black Ops 7 will end up performing as a separate game. We do see we don't see a lot of people wishlisting it and um, on Steam or anything, but we don't have any details on how it's going to perform on PC and console. There are separate ways to access the game, even on PC. Like I said, like the article said, it's free on Game Pass. So a lot of people might actually just be jumping in through Game Pass, which is not captured on Steam then. So it could be a lot more there than what we see on Steam, and it could be a lot more on consoles than what we see here. So until it launches, we would not have an idea. And how it's going to impact Battlefield overall, we still don't know either. But let's just see. We'll find out in a couple of days, right? Let's see how it goes. Let me know what you guys think of this whole COD versus Battlefield sale drama. And whether you think that eventually Battlefield 6 will become a serious threat to Call of Duty, or whether it'll remain its own separate thing and Call of Duty and Black Ops, Call of Duty and Battlefield will have its own separate player bases where they will coexist peacefully without any competition. I think it could be the latter, that they will eventually find a way to coexist without big competition. But you never know. You never know what their intentions are. If they go down the path of competition, we could see some real changes happening to both games. I think real changes, and that could be the annoying, or that could be a really good thing for the players. We just don't know yet. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Yeah, moving on for more Battlefield news. uh, Speaking of Battlefield, man, I saw a couple of uh, couple of memes and like posts flying around on Instagram and TikTok about how Battlefield players are editing their game files to turn off matchmaking against overpowered aim assist, which means like crossplay. They're turning off crossplay, you know. Thanks, Basaka. Yeah, so I saw that and I was pretty interested because it is something that's been kind of voiced over and over, especially in the PC community. Uh, and it looks like, despite having a lot of plans, despite EA having, ter- shown interest in, nerfing the aim assist and working on that, gamers are already going out of their way to turn off crossplay. It says here Battlefield 6 players on PC have found a way to edit the game files to disable crossplay and prevent them from being matchmade with players using a controller, which is said to have overpowered aim assist. It is a, is it a, it's a tale as old as time, where keyboard and mouse players felt at a disadvantage against controller players because of the aim assist developers to add for controller players. In reality, aim assist is traditionally added for controller players in first person shooters because keyboard and mouse offer more precise aiming. However, in recent years, keyboard and mouse players have felt that developers have incorporated aim assist too much, resulting in controller players now having a far greater advantage than those playing with keyboard and mouse. The theory has led one player to discover that you can actually remove crossplay with controller players from the game files on PC. For those who currently don't have Battlefield 6 on PC, you can buy it here for the cheap. Okay, that's an ad in the middle of the article. Okay, how to disable crossplay. Okay, so it actually tells you how to do it here. First posted online by the X account author. Okay. Alright, so this is what that guy did. So tired of the OP aim assist? Here's how to turn off crossplay on PC. Go into Documents, Battlefield 6 settings, Steam save profile, and add GST gameplay dot crossplay enable 0. Yeah, you turn in the value to 0 and it'll turn it off. It's crossplay off. Interesting. Does that mean that if you're on PC and you are using a controller, whether that'll be also be filtered out? I'm not sure. Not sure. Right now, there's not enough players doing this, so it forces you into bot lobbies. But if it catches on, we should be able to get solid games. Plot twist. Okay, I'm gonna talk about this bot lobby situation as well because there's been an official response from one of the devs of Battlefield about this bot situation. I'll get to that in a minute, so stick around. Plot twist. Good chunk of PC players are playing with the controllers. um, True. I mean, I sometimes switch to a controller as well. I do play with keyboard and mouse, but mostly I play with the controller because I'm so used to it. I I used to play with the keyboard and mouse quite a lot back in the day, but ever since I switched to a PS5 and a PS4, I've been I've been at a console for a long time before I switched back to a PC recently. So I'm still kind of getting used to it. So I'm in the middle of transitioning, so I'm switching between both a lot. Very likely, almost like it's a massive advantage. Yeah, there's no setting for it on PC. They don't care. They just want to go into console lobbies and dunk on casuals with their KNF. All right. Anyway, so yeah, if you wanna turn off your crossplay, you can manually do it on PC. There you go. Um, yeah, there's a way to do that. Speaking of bot situation, speaking of bots, we Ali, if you know what I'm talking about, we have been playing Battlefield late night, and we've been getting into bot field servers quite a lot, don't we? Um, every time we play, even right now, are you playing Battlefield right now, dude? I don't know if you're listening to me or not, but um, if you're playing Battlefield, let me know if you're in a bot server right now. We've been experiencing a lot of bot field servers lately, and it's been kind of throwing us off a bit because it's only been mere weeks since the game released, and we're already seeing a lot of bots in our servers. Like we're just playing Conquest, pretty much Conquest all the time, and like as it, I mean, sometimes even during the day, but also like at night, like during this time, which is when I reckon most of the people will log in and play the game after work. You still get bots in the game, right? Like if you go into a fresh game, most of the time it gets filled with bots, and you do I we have noticed that, as you play the game, those bots do get replaced with real people as they keep joining the server, but it doesn't still like, it kind of feels still odd. So that's been a that's been a bit of a situation. And this guy David Serland, 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 I don't know. David Serland, one of the devs of Battlefield 6, has put out this tweet as a PSA. It's clear there is confusion on what makes bots be in games in BF6. Let's break it down. So he provided us a breakdown here, which I thought was interesting. So let's keep reading. It says bots enter the game on regular playlist only under these conditions. Players kickstart a lobby for a playlist, and the pre-round takes longer than X minutes, I believe 3 minutes. At that point, the bots fill the server to the necessary limit to start the game. So if you're waiting for more than 3 minutes, it's going to kickstart the bots fill, and then in order to start the game. Okay? As in 24 per side, I believe, for CQ for X. At that point, the game starts and you can play with the bots instead of waiting. Other players in the same region, matchmaking on that same playlist, will join this server as it has you on it. Each time a player joins, a bot leaves. We have seen this happen, but it still starts most of the time with bots. Once 24 players per team has entered, the server is no longer seeded with bots and all players, leaving the rest of the slots for players as well. These servers are all 64 player or whatever the max of the playlist states, not smaller ones at all. Okay, so this issue only happens for 64 player modes. It starts with 32 and then it keeps filling up to 64. Okay. Does that affect the gameplay? Absolutely. Because we've seen when you start a game, you do so well, and then you see like a whole bunch of people come in, and then it just goes to shit. I don't know if that's a good thing. The alternative to doing this would be full on waiting, possibly forever, to play on the playlist of your choice in regions with low population. But to fill a server, the first in the region, you need to stay with the bots. If you keep leaving because one, you see bots. Two, you see no other players. Well, the reason for that is you are first. You need to stick it out, or at least give it a minute or two. Or how may you are willing to try and wait for. We can and will test longer wait time limits for the seed bots to kick in, but please spread the word. Okay. Final ad. There is also onboarding bots, which is used in certain game modes for new players, called Introduction Breakthrough, I think. These bot games are different from the seeded ones. They stick around and populate a big chunk of the total player on each team. The problem is that okay, I refuse to acknowledge that there is a problem. um, okay, cool. So he did clear it out a little bit, I reckon, but I think there is still an unaddressed issue here as to why are we getting so many bots all the time, whereas this hasn't been an issue when it launched. I think past like first through 2-3 weeks of the since it launched, not even like first 2 weeks, right? Like, are we on how many weeks has it been now? I lost track now. So first couple of weeks since launch, we never had an issue with the servers filling with bots and eventually bots getting replaced with real players. But it's becoming a more frequent problems mere weeks into since game launch. That is an issue because we haven't seen that happen in anything else before. So why is this happening right now already? Which is a concern, but which is a concern for for the game, which is a problem that they still haven't addressed. If you go to Steam charts right now, uh, currently it's got 137 players right now. It's the middle of the week, so I understand that. But still, consistently, the 24-hour peak seems to be 355. So at some point in the day, we have this many players playing almost every single day, every single day. So yeah, man, I don't really know with even with so many players like this, I don't really know why there's so many bots filling the servers. It it, it doesn't make any sense. I understand like the servers are kind of divided between regions, and I'm here in Aussie, and we probably have the Aussie AU servers. Um, so maybe because of if you're in US servers, I'm assuming there's a whole lot more players, which probably makes up a whole lot of this player base, and out of this there's probably only a very small portion of players I actually in AU, because US is a big place and they have a lot more players than here, so that could be why. So I don't really know what it is. We already getting bots, so kind of sucks. Does that mean not enough players are playing Battlefield anymore? Does that mean that people are leaving to play RedSec and Arc Raiders? Probably, but it is still an issue. It could get worse over time. We don't know. Anyway, yeah. So that's the situation with bots. And do you guys agree, or are you guys happy with this explanation given by the Battlefield devs? Do you need more information? I reckon we need an explanation as to what they plan to do with ongoing bot situation, because it's not ideal. The alternative is waiting forever. Yeah, okay, but like, why do we already get so many bots when we didn't have this issue 2 weeks ago? Is my question. Yeah. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, as always. Yeah. Yeah, man. All right. So that's pretty much all the Battlefield news. um, yeah. There is I do want to check out this. Before we move on to Rockstar stuff, I want to check out this video that IGN had put out. It's about behind the scenes of Naughty Dog. It's only like 7 minutes, so let's check it out. It's the Naughty Dog's official 40th anniversary retrospective. That's what it says on the title. So let's. Okay, there you go. So we shall check it out here. So that's the video. Let's check it out and see what it says. Okay.
Crash Bandicoot.
Is there a problem?
No, just how do you make it go?
Push the start button.
I knew that.
All right.
I got it.
One of the greatest accomplishments of Naughty Dog is just the games that we make, and having done it for 40 years.
Yeah, that's a long story, right?
I mean, look, it's impossible to talk about 40 years of Naughty Dog without talking about where it all started.
40 years is crazy.
Jason Rubin and Andy Gavin, as high school kids, decided to just make their own games. They saw something was missing in the game industry, and they wanted to leave their mark.
I was in Hebrew school at the time, and there was this guy, Andy Gavin. He was in my Hebrew school, and he was a much better programmer than I was, so I'd ask him questions when I had issues. And
I mean, computers were so new then, and most of the games were in arcades and stuff, and we were 12-year-old guys who this stuff was all new and cool, and we were just like, well, let's make some.
And that
That's
turned
cool.
into a drive cross country to California, during which we created, I guess, or at least came up with the concept of making a character action game that ended up being Crash Bandicoot.
So Crash, the idea of the game, we definitely knew we wanted to make it like a cartoon character. We had this idea that we could like take some kind of animal that was like cute and kind of a little cool and sort of obscure with like maybe like a cool name or something, that if we made this character based on it, we could sort of like own the animal.
I remember when they were pitching to Sony, and it was a really big deal. You know, I remember Jason saying, you know, they're treating us like rock stars.
So after Crash, we had this tremendous pressure to follow up and make our next groundbreaking title. I remember we
Jack
were
and Daxter.
brainstorming and pitching ideas, and one of our animators sketched out this elf-looking character, and another one sketched out this Otzel character, and there you go. That we put those guys together, and that was Jack and Daxter.
That's cool.
When Jack and Daxter came out, there was a lot of excitement because it was PlayStation owners' chance to play a game that is more traditionally associated with like a Nintendo release.
I want information. Where the hell am I?
Sorry. He's new to the whole conversation thing.
We wanted to tell a much more detailed story. We wanted a sort of like immersive, like completely creative world that wasn't nearly as grounded. It was driven tremendously by our sort of gameplay goals of having
Those
this
are
sort of
great
like
games.
seamless, immersive, very beautiful world that you could explore.
We'd love to stay in check.
They need to make a comeback. They need to remake or make a new game for this IP.
In the end, we learned a lot, and all of this development was just preparing us for our next big title. This project was going to be so ambitious that we even codenamed it Big.
Here's the thing, kid. We don't get to choose how we start in this life. Real greatness.
Back in 2011, dude.
It's what you do with the hand you're dealt.
Like one of the things I remember as we looked into what the next game is, was there was this list of like, what are the things we didn't accomplish that we want to maybe then take a short list and put it into our next game. And I think that just speaks to, hey, we're always looking towards the future. We're always trying to evolve.
If you wanted to do something cool that wasn't like 100% core gameplay, it was just a cutscene. And the goal in Uncharted 2 was like, take all those things that would have been cutscenes and make them playable. And the ambition from there, from like subsequent games, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Every Uncharted game always pushes
This is why
some
the
new
second game is the
technologies, a
best.
new thing that we want to do. We're trying to create moments that we've never seen in games before.
And while the tech has evolved over time, I think there are some core elements that are key to Naughty Dog and our success.
I mean, as I look at the next future decades, what I would really like the studio to continue to be doing is to like build on that legacy and continue to push boundaries and push the
I
envelope
really
in
wish
the
they make
games
more
and stories
Uncharted
that we try
games
to
though.
make.
The whole
Oh,
game
The Last of
industry
Us
is
is about
missing a
love.
game like that.
The Last of Us is about the duality of love, how it is the best and worst parts of us.
I think The Last of Us really proved that you can tell a great story within a genre, that there's some perception is overplayed or overused. I think people really fell in love with Joel and with Ellie, and going on that journey with them was just such an incredible experience.
It means a lot to be able to do that, and part of that is the ability to be able to bring such a talented team together with the singular goal of making amazing experiences.
After all we've been through, everything that I've done,
Sweet Jesus. Doctor! What are you doing?
can't be for nothing.
If you look back at the history of Naughty Dog, like everything that we've done, everything that was done before I even joined Naughty Dog, like Crash Bandicoot, Jack and Daxter, Uncharted, has all given us the knowledge and the tools and the know-how of how to work together to make something like The Last of Us.
Naughty Dog's been around for 40 years. No small feat, especially in an industry so tumultuous as ours.
40 years is a really long history. It's something to be proud of. There aren't a lot of game studios that have been around that long.
It's really about embodying these characters that are very specific and strong-willed characters, even though they're flawed, and then making you connect with them and their journey in a way that hopefully by the time you're finished with that experience, you view reality a little bit differently.
Yeah. This is the one that I'm very skeptical about, to be honest.
With Intergalactic, we're going to move into a world with new characters and new capabilities.
I hope the future holds more of what Naughty Dog has always done, being at the forefront of making entertainment that is of the highest possible quality, telling the stories it wants to tell with depth and meaning.
That is the core of our craft, is authenticity.
I know our studio will continue to create amazing story-driven, character-based games that touch upon the human experience.
Again, the stuff that we build here is bigger than any one person can make. That's one of the thing that makes it special. But at the core of it is just this strive for excellence, of like loving what we do and looking back and being proud of the thing that we made.
More Uncharted, please. Give us more Uncharted, please. Please, Naughty Dog. God damn, at least remake the first game because it hasn't aged well. Okay. Yeah, cool. I thought we might get to see a little bit more snippets of the new game they're making on the intergalactic, the heretic prophet. Mouthful. But yeah, cool video. Cool video. Don't really have anything to say about it, really. I think, yeah, they found a lot of success with a lot of success with The Last of Us, and they kind of milk that IP as much as possible in the last however many years since the first game released, and even with the TV show as well, which is great. I mean, it's good. It's a good story, and to have that be told in different mediums, which is fantastic. I'm not saying anything about that, but I think they're also forgetting, and they're sort of leaving behind these other IPs like Uncharted that could have a lot more potential and a lot more stories that could be told within it. I know they sort of wrapped up Nathan Drake's legacy in Thief's End, but I feel like they did kind of set it up for a continuation in some way with like Nathan Drake's daughter, maybe even. I don't know. Like it kind of felt like it could be continued. They didn't completely wrap it up. They kind of left us hanging. So I feel like it's time for them to come back to Uncharted and then, do something with that IP, because I think right now there's a lot of appetite for Uncharted, game like Uncharted. We saw that with how well Indiana Jones performed in this space. Even, it's pretty much in, a very similar game to Uncharted, except it was first person. Even though I was so skeptical because it was done by Bethesda, it was actually a pretty fantastic game. It was very, it was done really well. Even though it was first person, it was actually, in terms of gameplay, balanced really well. Unironically, it's voiced by Troy Baker, who's also in the Uncharted series, who's also Joel in The Last of Us. He somehow managed to pull off young Harrison Ford's voice, which is very cool. But yeah, we saw how well it performed and how people loved and embraced that game. It tells me we still have a lot of appetite for games like that, which is what Uncharted is. And if Uncharted makes a comeback in some form, even if they do like a full-on remake of the first game, which hasn't really aged well in my opinion, even like the first two games hasn't really aged well. Third one is okay. I think that would be cool. That would be really cool. I would not wait a second to actually pre-order that game. I normally don't like to pre-order so many games because most of the games do launch broken. But I would definitely pre-order that. Would I pre-order Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet? At this point, no, because I don't know anything about the game. They literally haven't shown anything about it. But once I see more, I might change my mind, because Naughty Dog is one of the very few studios that I give a pass when it comes to pre-ordering games, because they continue to somehow release games that are exceptionally well made. Or I obviously haven't, pre-ordered all their remasters and re-releases and remakes of the games, because I've already played those games, so I didn't really, rebuy all the re-releases of Last of Us in the past few years they put out, but every new game they put out, it was exceptionally well made, and I always, make a point to play them because I know they're good. Which I hope is the same case for Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. I think that was the whole point of this video as well, to just remind people, you know what, you're working on a totally different IP, new IP, which is a complete departure from what we made before. But just so you know, we're actually good at this. Just remember that. It was kind of a reminder for everybody, which is cool, I think. But, having said that, we got to go back a few years and realize, Uncharted was a completely different game to Crash Bandicoot or Jack and Daxter, and they made it well. They did it really well. And Last of Us was a completely different game to Uncharted series. They nailed that too. And now they're going for a completely different vibe and maybe even gameplay, because Neil Druckmann have famously said at this point that Intergalactic is very much inspired by the gameplay mechanics of the games like Elden Ring, even though it's not a Souls-like game. So they could be going for a completely different vibe in this game. We just don't know yet. Once we see some gameplay, more details about the game, we can make a decision. But as of right now, it's very hard to see. So, what do you guys think of this whole Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet situation? A lot of people are calling it like, Naughty Dog's going to full work. I don't know. Like, it could. They might be going for hardcore inclusivity here. I don't know. Are they going full work? I don't know. I don't want to make a comment on that. But let me know what you guys think about the game, and based on what they have revealed so far, which is not much. Very interesting. Okay, so let's jump into the not Rockstar drama. Before I talk about Rockstar stuff, I want to talk about the pricing situation with Sony PlayStation, which is concerning me quite a bit, actually. Do you guys remember some time ago? How long ago was it? I don't remember. Maybe a year ago. Okay, they was kind of under fire because somebody spotted dynamic game pricing in PlayStation Store, which was kind of a bummer to see, really. Hang on, I think I might be able to find that. It was on Reddit, actually. Okay, here we go. I think this might be it. This appeared on Reddit. Okay, so it says it's under gaming leaks and rumors about a year ago. Sony possibly experimenting with dynamic pricing. It says grain of salt because it wasn't confirmed. In a rather odd turn of events, the PlayStation Store may be rolling out dynamic pricing for certain games. Especially Astro Bot appears to be the target of this experiment. I first noticed that the game was discounted a few days ago on the mobile app. I was surprised that this sale was not advertised on major video games website. Curious, I went onto my browser and searched for the game on the PlayStation Store. While being signed out, it was $59.99. I signed in and it appeared as $44.99. Okay, so that was what's been said. Okay, and so people were kind of concerned about this, and we kind of didn't hear about anything. It was all quiet. Nothing was confirmed at all. But then a couple of days ago, one day ago actually, under PlayStation thread on Reddit, this appeared. Was excited to finally purchase until I realized the price was lower on my wife's account. Oh dear God. I mean, they actually took a screenshot, and this is what it shows. It's showing Red Dead Redemption 2 Ultimate Edition, $19.99 on his account, and on his wife's account it's $14.99. It's a $5 difference. My wife doesn't play much, and so buying it on her account may not be the best decision to keep everything easily accessible for me. Seeing this soured me on buying it quite a bit. And for reference, same region, same PlayStation, same currency, etc. Okay, so yeah, that's what's happened. And let me go on my PlayStation account, and I have it on my phone. So I'm just gonna do a quick search for Red Dead Redemption. Ultimate Edition. Hey man, what's going on, bruh? Welcome back to the stream. How you going? I'm just checking. I'm actually talking about this whole thing with Sony PlayStation's dynamic pricing on PlayStation Store, which is a big concern. Actually, big concern. Having different prices showing to different players. I'm checking it on my PlayStation right now. Ultimate Edition. I don't see an Ultimate Edition on a PlayStation. Is it something only US has? I'm not sure. Not sure. Ultimate Edition says unavailable. Okay. Why does it say unavailable? It's not available for me. That's weird. Very weird. Yeah, it's I'm looking at the Ultimate Edition here. I don't know if you can see. Let me switch back to me. Yeah, I don't know if you. Oh, what the hell? What am I showing? Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm an Ultimate Edition. But it's not really show. It's saying unavailable, so I don't really know. You hear about GTA 6 pay to play, like prepaid hours? Yeah, I did hear about that. I mean, it's nothing new. Ubisoft have tried to do that before as well. Give early access to a game they're releasing, and if you play if you buy the Ultimate Edition or something, Deluxe Edition, you get access to it a couple of days ahead. I think they did that with Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but they were gonna do it for Shadows, and people really called them out for that one, and then they canceled doing that. But GTA 6, man, GTA 6. I think GTA 6 at this point has gained a lot of reputation. Yeah, man, go for it. GTA 6 is going to gain a lot of reputation at this point. They can do whatever they want, So they can do literally whatever they want. So yeah, it is weird. Yeah, anyway, continuing back to this one. Yeah, so I tried to look for it on my PlayStation. It's not coming up. Maybe it's not available in Australia region, so I can't see it. However, according to this screenshot, the dude has to pay more because he's the kind of guy who plays this type of game. So they're showing them a higher price, whereas his wife doesn't play this type of game, so it's cheaper for her, which is very interesting choice. It's I think dynamic pricing for games doesn't really work because it's a very unfair thing to do for gamers. It's not very gamer friendly because gaming works. The whole gaming industry considered, and if you look at different types of gamers, they exist within different bubbles, right? You have your RPG players, you have your MMO players, you have your anime, manga type games player, like gacha games players. You got your online hardcore shooter players. They can overlap. They can definitely overlap. However, you have different types of players in the gaming industry and a set of games that cater to those gamers. So when dynamic pricing comes into play, you're literally targeting gamers who love to play a certain type of games and asking them to pay more just because they like that type of games. And you're putting the prices down for gamers who are not playing those type of games generally, like that's just, I mean, from a business perspective, a brilliant idea. That way you actually make sure that you make more sales, because if you're putting the price down for players who don't normally play that type of game and they see a much cheaper price, they have more incentive to buy it. Whereas if you're putting the price up for a gamer who already play these type of games, it doesn't really matter. They would buy it anyway. So you get more money out of that sale. But the thing is, it's very unfair for the gamers and the customers. You're literally, this is just another way to rip off your customers and be very anti-consumer. They haven't said anything. They haven't confirmed anything, but it looks like they are quietly testing this out in the back end, and we're seeing this now. And I'm really hoping that people really speak up about it and actually, you know, um, raise their concerns and voice against this, because I really don't think this should be the norm moving forward. I really don't think this should be allowed to happen, because it's just not fair. It's just not fair for the gamers. And we, you know, gaming companies, especially notoriously right now with Xbox, right? I think it kind of started with Nintendo with the Nintendo Switch 2's release, where they were just, you know, overcharging people for the console. They were overcharging people for the games, and people were literally giving them a pass for it. Literally, people were literally like, "Oh, okay, yeah, cool, no, I'll still buy it." And I didn't buy one, but a lot of people did. And I did saw like an article a couple of days ago that they have sold like so many Nintendo Switches already. So yeah, people like, yeah, okay, you know, it's Nintendo, I'm just gonna buy it anyway. So people, it's literally like COD every year. Yeah, COD is literally the same shit every single year, but people keep buying them anyway. It's like that with Nintendo. Nintendo is gonna Nintendo, like I always say, and people just keep giving them a pass. And then Xbox extended this with their recent price hikes across both games and consoles and their Game Pass. It's very anti-consumer. It's really pushing the patience levels of gamers, and especially in this economy as well. In the global economy is going to shit. People really are struggling, and gaming is already an expensive habit to maintain for most people. And people do it because they really love games, you know, regardless of like how much they're struggling. People really try to keep up that habit because how much they love playing games. But it is not a very light habit. It is a very expensive and time consuming habit. So you do have to make a choice between how much time you're consuming, where you could be making money or doing something else, while opposed to, you know, spending money and spending that time playing games. It is a trade-off that you're always going to have to make as a gamer, especially if you're a casual gamer. um, and then to have to do, you know, for these, you know, multi-trillion dollar companies to go and raise their prices and then ask for more money in this economic climate, it is very anti-consumer. And Sony is no exception for this, for doing this dynamic pricing at this point. They have not made a point to actually make an announcement about it, but they're doing it quietly, which I think is a little more evil. I just don't think these kind of practices should be allowed. I think people really need to like stand up against this kind of thing. But it is getting harder. It is getting harder right now because we're moving away from physical discs and more towards a digital only future, which is giving these companies more and more control because of that. That's unfortunately where we're at. And I don't really know how this is going to pan out. We still haven't heard this sort of practices in other clients like Steam or Epic Game Store or anywhere else where PC is concerned. But you know, but then again, I don't think it will happen because you do have a lot of ways to buy games on PC. A lot of digital stores with a lot of discounts. That way, you can buy games. Whereas consoles, Xbox and PlayStation, they're kind of locked into their own ecosystem with the PlayStation Store thoroughly and purely controlled by Sony. So you can't really buy outside of that. The only way you can do that is if you buy from like EB Games or GameStop or JB Hi-Fi or somewhere else, right? But the thing is, if you're moving to a digital-only future, you're taking that choice away from the gamers too. So that means you're purely locked into whatever the prices that Sony PlayStation would set for you with this dynamic pricing, right? Someone else could be buying that game cheaper than you because they don't play that game as much as you, but you end up paying more because you love those games. Does that sound fair? Definitely not. Definitely not. I just don't think it's a thing. It should be a thing. Anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys think if you're watching this later on a YouTube video. But yeah, it's a crazy future that we move into, and I just don't think it should be allowed. All right, finally, let's move on to let's move on to Rockstar drama, because there's a whole bunch there as well. God damn. We had some news, like literally, when was this? Literally a few days ago, about Rockstar firing some employees, and they have come out and said, let me try to move this a little bit because it feels weird. There you go, that's better. Okay, cool. So Rockstar, so they have come out and said fired employees were leaking information, and that's why they were fired. That's what they have said here. So it's an article from Inside Gaming. They're saying Rockstar Games says it didn't fire employees for attempting to form a union. Rather, the studio behind Grand Theft Auto 6 says that staff let go were done so for leaking company information. In a new report from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, the employees were giving out company secrets in a forum with non-Rockstar staff. This led to more than 30 people losing their jobs. Okay. Last week, we took action against a small number of individuals who were found to be distributing and discussing confidential information in a public forum, a violation of our company policies, a Rockstar spokesperson said Schreier. This was in no way related to people's right to join a union or engage in union activities. That's what they have said officially. What was the union's response? It just so happens, however, that everyone who was let go also took part in a private union chat on Discord. The only people outside of Rockstar involved in the chat, they say, were labor organizers. The president of the Independent Workers' Union of Great Britain, Alex Marshall, said that Rockstar was simply afraid of hardworking staff privately exercising their rights for a fairer workplace and a collective voice. Management are showing that they don't care about delays to GTA 6 and that they're prioritizing union busting by targeting the very people who make the game. Insider Gaming has reached out to Rockstar parent company Take-Two Interactive for comment on the situation. Okay, cool. So that was the article, and then literally on the same day they put another article here. Is it by the same person? No, it's by this one. This was by Mike Straw. This is by Grant Taylor Hill, saying fired Rockstar workers to protest outside Take-Two's London office today. This is escalating like to a bigger proportion, and a lot of drama happening here. Recently it was revealed that around 30 Rockstar Game employees were fired by the company under claims that the workers were participating in leaks and prohibited discussions about the development of GTA 6. Those dismissed by the company insist they were let go because they were unionizing. In a bid to rebel, the IWGB, a UK-based worker. We actually talked about IWGB a little bit earlier. Do you guys remember? I don't know if you remember, but there was a open letter to Mines High developers, Build a Rocket Boy, about their poor company management, and they put out the employees put out a open letter to the management via this website. They're a gamers union company. Union entity, sorry. So a UK-based workers' union has arranged a protest outside Take-Two's London office due to kickoff today at 8 a.m. UK time. Yeah, so WGB. Yeah, so it's a union. Okay, wow. Yeah, so that's literally on their front page. IWGB. So they really focus on like game developers and stuff like that with their union work. But that's where we at right now. So all you had to do was follow the law. In a video uploaded to social media, the IWGB union explained the lay of the land, telling how Rockstar Games had betrayed the employees let go for unionizing. Rockstar makers of GTA have crossed the red line. Where is that? I want to see that video. Is it this one? I don't know. News. Campaigns. They put out a video, but I can't really find the video. Can I search for it? IWGB. They put it out on social media, but it's not on their website. Let's try it. IWGB Rockstar video.
Rockstar Games has.
No, that's just some random. Social media. Let's go to their Instagram and see if it's pops up. Is this the union? Did they put out any reels? Okay, is this the one? I think this is the one. This might be the one. Let's have a listen to that and see what they say. Yeah. Oh, I can't hear anything.
GB union members in a blatant act.
Okay, let's try it again.
Rockstar, makers of GTA, have crossed the red line. They fired over 30 members of staff, all IWGB union members, in a blatant act of union busting. They've done this for no other reason but to try and terrorise and silence staff. Not only is this illegal, this is also a complete attack on workers' rights and people's well-being. Instead of focusing on the development of the much-awaited GTA 6, Rockstar have chosen to take on the role of their classic game villains by breaking labour laws and firing hard-working staff making the game, betraying both workers and fans alike. IWGB is determined to fight back. We're planning a protest tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. outside the parent company of Rockstar, Take-Two Interactive. That's at 30 Cleveland Street, London. These are workers who put their blood, sweat and tears into the game loved by millions. Come down to the protest tomorrow and show these guys you've got their backs. All you had to do was follow the damn law, Rockstar. Rockstar made...
Okay, yeah, very confronting. Very confronting. So yeah, that's what they have said. That's what covered in this paragraph right here. Yeah, by way of response, IWGB has arranged a protest. So this is gonna, oh, it's right here. It's gonna take place soon, or it's already taking place by the time we're talking about this. For leaking information about Grand Theft Auto 6 on a public forum, but many have pointed out the coincidence that every employee let go is a member of the IWGB union. Sorry. The situation has drawn a mixed response from social media users, with some suggesting that they must have done something wrong. Others backing the fired employees have suggested that they sue or arrange a class action lawsuit against Rockstar Games and Take-Two. Okay, this is a very divided situation, you know, by its nature. So it's very hard to comment or take sides on this. But as much as I love GTA 6 or GTA games, Take-Two has never really been very friendly. I don't know how else to put it. Either to their fans of the games, Take-Two games. I can't really comment on Rockstar because Rockstar seems like, I mean, they are literally one of the best video game development companies in the world right now, undoubtedly. They put out game after game that has been massive successes one success after another, and at this point, like GTA 6 is already, like, even before release, it's become a cultural phenomenon, and it's become a popular cultural icon at this point already. There's so much impact the games that they have put out has had on our cultures, on the gaming industry as well. So it's really hard to argue with their talent and how they are as a gaming development company. Take Two, as a publishing company, on the other hand, who owns Rockstar, has never really been consumer friendly. This may have extended towards their employees as well. I'm not really sure, but they were really called out like a few years ago about, the really aiding the crunch culture in the gaming industry. Although they were one of the bigger culprits of the crunch culture. So was Naughty Dog, but they actually went back and fixed their issue with the crunch times, and they kind of almost got rid of it. I think that's really why they're actually taking a lot more time to come up with games now, because they're really not pushing the workers' limits anymore. They're taking their time with it, which is fine. Although, like, it's been so many years since the last GTA came, you can already see, like, the game itself is on another level already, a level that no other gaming company would be able to match. So it looks like there's a lot of work already goes into this game. But does that mean people are being pushed to work on it a lot? And does that mean, like, I don't know, it's really hard to understand what's going on and why this happened. We haven't really seen, like, proper evidence of these issues that's been highlighted here as well. Like, they are saying that they were fired because of they were leaking information. I'm assuming there has to be some evidence of that as well. So I'm trying to find if there's any evidence of that, but I can't really see anything here, anything that's like directly showing anything. There are so many articles highlighting it. Even Bloomberg article that we talked about earlier by Jason Schreier is talking about all of that, but it's not really showing any of, like, direct screenshots of the situation or anything like that. So I can't really see for myself what's happened. I just have to take their word for it. And it is a very big coincidence that all the people who ended up in these public forums leaking information turn out to be all the members of the union. It is too big of a coincidence to happen, in my opinion. So is it a union busting? It could very well be, and I wouldn't be surprised by that if it is the case, because, like I said, Take Two are not very friendly people. Rockstar, I don't know, but ultimately it would be Take Two who would make these decisions, I assume, and whatever they say would go. And Rockstar at this point is way too big with games like GTA 6 in development, which is undoubtedly is the biggest game to come out. Which literally, I mean, it was gonna come out this year. Would be this year. Even if it comes out next year, like, it'll be the biggest game of the next, I don't know, however many years, right? And nobody else will be able to match that other than themselves. Can't see a clear contender for GTA 6 release other than Red Dead Redemption 3, which is also made by them. So they are undoubtedly the biggest giants in the industry, and so they're way too big to take into account what people think. They can literally do what they want, and that's what they're gonna do. And this feels like something that they just did because they can, because they know even with the backlash that they're gonna get with this decision, it's not going to impact their sales, because people are going to buy GTA 6. People are not going to boycott that game, bro. I'm telling you, nobody's going to. Everyone's going to still buy that game. Everyone's going to be hyped for it. Everyone's going to be playing it for years. and they just know that, so they're not worried about it, and they're at a point where they have so much power on the power in their hands when it comes to GTA 6. They can literally charge you $100 for this, and people will still buy it. I'm talking about $100. That will be like freaking close to $200 in Australia, but people will still buy it because it's GTA 6, and that's just how it is. And I actually think that they wouldn't even release the physical copies because they don't want like something like an AC Shadow situation where the physical copies get leaked ahead of launch because let me you wouldn't realize, but it can very well happen with AC Shadows, which is still a big game. Wasn't even a game that performed that well, but it got leaked like few days or a week ahead of the launch because the physical copies were at like specific stores and people were literally leaking that. And I don't think Take-Two or Rockstar gonna wanna take a chance with that because how big this game is. People will be literally arranging organized crime to get their hands on leaked copies ahead of launch. That's what's gonna happen with physical discs. So I think they will probably wait it out and have digital release happen first on consoles because it's not even coming on PC yet. And they'll have a digital release coming for consoles first, and then maybe like a week later they will do week or two later they will do the physical release. At that point it's not gonna matter, so there won't be any leaks. So I think that's what's gonna happen. So if you're thinking of buying the game on a physical disc, maybe get a better internet connection, download it digital. I don't know. Maybe I think that's what's gonna happen. You never know. They might actually manage to somehow, distribute it without any leaks. You never know. But yeah, it is very much a possibility. But my point is, they're at a point where they can literally do anything, and people will just go along with it, and that's just the reality. So yeah, that's where we are. Let me know what you guys think of this whole situation with Rockstar. Are you excited for GTA 6? Are you gonna still buy that game despite their shitty practices with employees? Let me know in the comments below if you're watching this on a YouTube video. But if you're lurking, please say hi. I would love that very much. But yeah, that's it, man. That's it for today's stuff. So I am like I said at the beginning, I am working on my video for that indie game. I have just finished recording it today, so I'll be editing it for the next few days. What? Not saying hi. First 20 minutes. I know. Thank you for pointing that out. I really I haven't made that mistakes in a while, bro. Like I feel like I had to do it again because it's been a while since I just wanted to test to see if anyone's listening. That's why I had no audio on. Just if I had the no audio on, people would be like, "Oh, I can't hear you." That's exactly what you did. So you fell right into my trap. That's what happened. Yeah. Yeah, that was embarrassing. Anyway, that's all good. It's not the first time I've done it, so it's becoming my thing now. So I think I would start the stream every day with no audio just to see who's listening and who's tuning in, and they're gonna drop a message going, "Hey, I can't hear you," so I would know someone's there. I think that's what I would do. I'll just have a text across the thing saying, "No audio until you say hi," and then I'll just keep talking and you can't hear me. I think that, that actually sounds pretty good. I might actually do that. 20 minutes of no audio. I know. I might do that. Next time. So start with no audio until you say hi, okay? You know what? I haven't actually said anything useful on that first few minutes anyway. Yeah, J-miming. Yeah. I was just talking about random shit, so it's not important anyway. I'll cut it out. But all I talked about in the first few minutes was the fact that I was working on finishing up the game, the indie game that I was playing. I couldn't do it because I was playing so many other games. I just finished Ghost of Yotei, so I was telling that I finished recording that video today. Yeah, it's coming. I just finished recording the whole thing today, so I'm gonna be editing it for the next few days. It'll be up in the weekend. It took me so long because there's so many shit was happening for the past 2 weeks, and a lot of time put into grinding Battlefield with you, Ali, and yeah, man, a lot of time went into literally trying to finish Ghost of Yotei. Yeah, and also in another announcement, I just started playing Ninja Gaiden 4 because that's another game that I've been wanting to play. I am a big fan of Ninja Gaiden, and if you see my desktop right now, look at that. This is my desktop right now. So yeah, I like Ninja Gaiden. So I haven't been able to play it. I just started playing it. I'm gonna, play it a little bit and maybe give my first impressions in a couple of days, maybe. No, definitely not. No, I'm gonna stick around with BF6. Don't worry, bro. Don't worry. I'm gonna be always playing Battlefield 6, not going away at all. But I'm just gonna have to balance that with other games, Yeah, 100%. 100%. So I'm gonna wrap it up soon, this stream, and gonna join you with Battlefield 6. So, yeah. Yeah, I heard the new challenges and the XP got patch went out. Oh, really? Oh, that's actually good. Oh my god. Holy crap. Okay. That's actually very good. I might be able to do the other challenges pretty quick then. I'm kind of glad that I didn't focus on challenges too much all this time then. Yeah, anyway, like I said, Ninja Gaiden 4, I might do an impression video in a couple of days or maybe a week or so. And then another video once I finish it. We started doing Outer Worlds too. I streamed it a little bit in my previous video, but in a previous stream, but then I didn't go back to it, so I might do it after that as well. Let me know if that's something you want to do. The leaderboards will lose so much ranking if you miss a few days. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I don't really care about the rankings as much as you do, man. Like you're the one who's like, I want to be at the top of Aussie bar, bruh. Let's freaking move. That's all right. I don't really care about the leaderboard. I just like having fun, Who cares, man? Who cares? Just freaking play the game, man. Just play the game. It's all teamwork. Who cares about top of the leaderboard, bro? Nobody cares. It's not COD. It's not COD. What are you, a COD player, bro? What are you, a COD player? Okay, all right. I'm gonna wrap it up now. I'll join you like literally right after, and then yeah, we can keep playing. Are you playing late night today, or do you have to go to Docks tomorrow? Please tell me. You can stick around a little. You done? Okay. All right. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow then. I guess I'll be playing by myself. That's all right. I've been playing by myself for a couple of days now, so nothing new. Alrighty. That's it for today. I'll see you guys on Saturday, I suppose. Stream it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll try. All right. Well, if you guys are not playing, I'm just gonna take a break, and I think the missus wanted to have dinner because we haven't actually had dinner. So we're gonna have a late dinner today. I might actually do that and then come back and then play a little bit. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'll leave you to do your witchering until then, I guess. Do some Witcher and play. Fucking do some Let's Fucking Move Witchers. Yeah, I will check it. You know why it happened? It's because I was doing the recording for the indie game that I was playing, and I wanted to capture some gameplay without my audio on it, or with my face on the side or anything, just pure gameplay. So I muted the whole thing and I just capturing the desktop audio. That's what I did, and I forgot to turn it back on. That's what happened. It happens. Yeah, nah, that's the real reason I was actually testing the chat, and you passed. Well done. All right, man. Okay, I'm off. Thanks for tuning in, brother. I'll see you later in the stream, getting my ass kicked in Battlefield 6. And after that, I'll see you on Saturday. Actually, I'll see the stream on Saturday, but I'll see you tomorrow on Battlefield. Bye. Yeah, man. Thank you. We'll pass that on.
Alright, time to paradise. The underdog's logging off. Baby! Thanks for hanging out for laughs, memes, and gaming clout. Even if I tripped, lost, or failed, you stuck around and that prevailed. We checked trailers, spilled the tea, mispronounced a game or three. Call of Duty fails, oh that's me, but the chat laughed along, pure victory. Grab your snacks, hydrate up, don't fall asleep. I'll be back soon with news to peep. The underdog may stumble, trip, or rage, but you're the legends who fill my stage. Grab your snacks, hydrate up, don't fall asleep. I'll be back soon with news to peep. The underdog may stumble, trip, or rage, but you're the legends who fill my stage. Announcing chat, Jaybeazt is officially signing off. He may try to explain the plot of a game he hasn't played, argue with NPCs about story choices, or get stuck in the tutorial forever. And if someone says something wild in chat, he might go, "Oh mate, don't say that!" Thanks for surviving the chaos, laughing at my fails, and pretending my Call of Duty aim is fine. Catch you next time, same underdog energy, less chaos, maybe. But thanks for surviving the chaos, laughing at my fails, and pretending my Call of Duty aim is fine. Catch you next time, same underdog energy, less chaos, maybe.